Hi friends, this is Preeti. So today our topic is action potential. Generation and conduction of nerve impulse. So here impulse means it is nothing but a nerve electrical signal. So this nerve impulse is conducted by neurons. Neurons are of three types: sensory neurons, motor neurons, and mixed. Sensory means, as in previous videos we have studied, it sent impulses from sensory organs to here we can see from sensory organs to brain. And if it is a motor neuron, it sent impulses from brain to the effector organs. Okay, so sensory neurons are also known as efferent. It starts with A, efferent neurons, and it is also called as efferent pathway. Whereas motor neurons, they undergo efferent pathway. So here we can see these are neurons. So the space in between these two neurons is called as a synapse. The before one are called as presynaptic, and the neurons present after the synapse are called as postsynaptic. So through these neurons there is a conduction of nerve impulse. So nerve impulse is conducted by three types of channels: voltage gated channels, ligand gated channels, and leakage channels. So voltage gated channels, they can be sodium and potassium, and leakage channels also, they can be sodium and potassium, and also ligand gated. So voltage gated channels and leakage channels are present on this axonal membrane. So this is the axon, this is a neuron, these are called as dendrites. The center one is called as cell body, and this tube-like structure is called as axon, and these are called as nerve terminals. So voltage gated channels are present on axon, and ligand gated channels are present on dendrite, the membrane of the dendrite. And also there is a sodium potassium pump on the axon. So now we'll study about the function of sodium potassium pump. As we know, voltage gated and leakage channels are present on the axonal membrane, and ligand gated are present on the dendrites of postsynaptic membrane. So through the leakage channels there is a flow of both the sodium and potassium ions according to their concentration gradients. So what happens, these sodium and potassium pump controls the flow of these ions through the leakage channels by what it will do, every time if there is a overflow of these ions, this sodium and potassium pump means sodium potassium ATPase, it is also called as Na plus K plus ATPase. It will expel 3 sodium ions outside and import 2 potassium ions inside. So remember the number, it expels 3 sodium outside and import 2 potassium inside, so that it will again bring the membrane to the resting potential if there is a overflow of ions through the leakage channels. Okay, so now we'll study about the nerve impulse. Nerve impulse is of two types, electrical and chemical. So electrical means this impulse is conducted through the ions, whereas chemical it is conducted through the neurotransmitters. Okay, so for example, if we take muscle contraction, how it takes place, if there is a release of noradrenaline, if it acts on GQ coupled receptors, then it shows smooth muscle contraction. Like that, if it acts on GI coupled receptors, then what it shows, It inhibits GI means it inhibits the enzyme adenyl cyclase. It means it also causes smooth muscle contraction. Whereas if it is GS means it stimulates the adenyl cyclase, then it causes a relaxation. So like this, neurotransmitters shows the responses when it acts on the receptors. So now we'll study how this nerve impulse is actually conducted throughout the neuron. So this is the tube-like structure, which is a axolemma. So this part I have drawn here. On this only there are many channels. So how there is a conduction of these impulse or electrical signal or a chemical signal throughout this neuron. So threshold stimulus means any stimulus which can generate a potential of minus 55 millivolts, then only the impulse starts. So if the stimulus is less than minus 55 millivolts, there is no conduction of impulse. So if there is a stimulus, it should be above minus 55 millivolts. So I think you have understood. So at first, so here I have drawn a tube-like structure. This is nothing but axon. So here we have seen the axon. So here I have drawn. So from here there is a conduction of nerve impulse. In a resting stage, there is a negative charge inside and positive charge outside. Okay, and the ions, sodium and calcium ions, are outside. They will be always outside the membrane, and potassium will be present inside the membrane. So at the resting stage, outside is negative, outside is positive, inside is negative. It means there are equal charges. So in a resting stage, this is the condition. So when a stimulus of minus 55 millivolts is initiated, then there is a opening of these sodium and calcium channels. Then what happens? There is an influx of these ions. As the positive ions are coming inside, the membrane gets positive. At this stage, inside membrane gets positive and outside membrane gets negative. So this condition is called as depolarization. So this is nothing but depolarization. And next, again from this stage, as the nerve impulse is conducting, there is an opening of again potassium channels, where there is a efflux of positive ions, and again the membrane of inside gets negative and outside gets positive. This is called as repolarization. So why it is happening? Here there is opening of sodium and calcium, and here there is opening of potassium, because to this nerve impulse, this nerve conducts the impulse until both side of the membrane charges are equal. For example, if outside there are 3 positive charges, inside also there should be 3 negative charges. Then only it reaches the resting state. Okay. For example, if there are a brother and a sister, if a brother has 3 chocolates and a sister has a 1 chocolate, so the sister will fight with the brother until she also get 1 more chocolate, so that both of them will have equal chocolates, 2 and 2. So like that, the nerve impulse, the nerve will conduct these electrical signal until both sides of the membrane have equal amount of charges. Means inside 3 negative, outside 3 positive. So at starting in a resting stage, they both are equal. After there is a conduction of impulse, so there is a change in these charges inside and outside. So for this balancing of charges, there is opening of various ion channels. So starting sodium and calcium are opening, there is a influx of positive charges. So always sodium and calcium, they influx, they come inside the membrane. Okay, as at this stage there is more positive charge inside the membrane. So to get the negative charge, again there is a efflux of these positive ions. So potassium always goes outside. So there is a efflux of potassium ions. So again we have a negative charge inside the membrane, which is called as repolarization. And then these potassium channels are very lazy, they close very slowly. So what happens, the potassium channels are still open and more potassium is gone outside, and it becomes still more negative, and there is an influx of chlorine ions also. So this stage is called as hyperpolarization. So this conduction of nerve impulse happens until again it reaches the resting state. Okay, so here we can see the graph. This is the graph, this is the time. So first it is in a resting state, then a threshold stimulus should be initiated. Okay, the resting state potential is minus 70 millivolts, and when there is an initiation of threshold stimulus, then only the nerve impulse conduction starts. So here there is minus 55 millivolts. So then as there is an influx of sodium ions, positive ions, these potential rises immediately. A depolarization is also called as a rising phase, because there is an increase in the potential where it reaches plus 45 millivolts. And again, to balance this, there is a flux of positive ions and there is a negative inside the membrane. So what happens, again the potential get decreases. So repolarization is nothing but falling phase, so it is decreasing. And then in hyperpolarization, it is still getting more negative, so it is further decreasing. So hyperpolarization, the potential is minus 90 millivolts, and again it reaches the resting stage, which is minus 70 millivolts. So here you remember the potential at resting state, it is the action potential is minus 70, at threshold it is minus 55, and depolarization plus 45, and then repolarization it falls down, and the hyperpolarization is minus 90 millivolts. So here now the definition of action potential is the potential difference between the outside membrane and the inside membrane is nothing but the action potential. So the points to be remembered in this case is, first, what is action potential? The difference between outside membrane and inside membrane is action potential. Threshold stimulus is nothing but a stimulus which is required to initiate the conduction of nerve impulse, which is minus 55 millivolts. And the sodium ions and the calcium are always outside the membrane, and they always come causes influx, whereas potassium, they are always inside the membrane and they always efflux. Okay, so, and the next point is the action potentials of these different stages: resting state, depolarization, repolarization, and hyperpolarization. Okay, and you may get doubt like potassium is a positive, so why there is a negative charge inside the membrane? So it is due to the presence of proteins. Due to the presence of proteins, it is a negative charge. Okay, so this is nothing but the conduction of nerve impulse. Next, the mechanism. Here we will see the chemical response. Okay, so when an impulse is initiated, what happens, there is an opening of sodium channels which causes depolarization of the membrane, and opens the voltage gated calcium channels. There is an influx of calcium channels, and what these calcium channels do, they stimulate the synaptic vesicles to fuse with the plasma membrane. Okay, then what happens, these synaptic vesicles release these neurotransmitters. Then these neurotransmitters acts on the receptors and they produce the response, and they can also act on the ligand gated channel which is present on the postsynaptic membrane. Okay, so this is the mechanism. What happens is this, and then next here we can see the definitions. Here ligand gated channels on postsynaptic membrane are of excitatory postsynaptic potential and inhibitory postsynaptic potential. So here you may get doubt that why excitatory postsynaptic potential causes depolarization, why inhibitory causes hyperpolarization. So we know that there are two types of neurons, excitatory neurons and inhibitory neurons. Excitatory example is glutamate producing neurons, and inhibitory example is GABA producing neurons. Okay, whereas example for excitatory neurotransmitter is glutamate. So glutamate consists of calcium channel, whereas GABA consists of chloride channel. So here we can see ligand gated channel means ligand is nothing but glutamate and channel is a calcium channel. In case of GABA, GABA is the ligand and the channel is chloride channel. So if we think this as a excitatory neuron, then when a nerve impulse is conducted, this neuron releases glutamate into the synapse. So when glutamate is released into the synapse, it acts on glutamate gated calcium channel and results in the influx of calcium ions which causes depolarization. So when GABA is released, it acts on GABA gated chloride channel and results in the influx of chlorine ions and results in hyperpolarization. So these ligand gated channels, glutamate gated calcium and GABA gated chlorine, are the examples of ionotropic channels. So we have studied this in General Pharmacology Part 2. You can refer that video. So here refractory period is of two types, absolute refractory period and relative refractory period. Absolute refractory period is contain a depolarization and repolarization phases, whereas relative contain only hyperpolarization phase. So in absolute refractory period means the time during which even very strong stimulus cannot initiate the second action potential. Very strong stimulus means more than the normal stimulus, which is minus 55 millivolts. So even greater than minus 55 millivolts also, it cannot produce a action potential. Next, relative refractory period. It means the time during which larger than normal stimulus can initiate the second action potential. So it means if the action potential, the conduction of nerve impulse is undergoing, then if again one more stimulus is given and if it is greater than the normal one, if it is greater than minus 55 millivolts, then it can initiate the secondary action potential. So these are the definitions. So I think you have understood. I have explained what I have understood. If you know any extra points other than this, you can please comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching my video. We'll meet in the next video.